Hey YouTube, I was asked a little while ago about how exactly I apply the wood-like finish to some of my bows, the faux wood finish. This was the bow that I used to attempt to glue on a rawhide backing. The backing popped off. One of the benefits was it was already partially sanded, so I went ahead and just sanded up the other side. And this is what we're left with. You know, don't worry about the areas near the handle because that's all going to be covered with wrapping of some sort anyway. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a black shoe polish in this case. It'll still have a wood-like effect, but I'm going for more of an ebony type of appearance. I want it to look nice, dark, still wood-grained, but nice and dark. That's the goal anyhow. My first instinct is to go and hit it with brown first, just to help mute some of the lightness, the whiteness of the pipe, but I'm going to go ahead and try it this way anyway, and we'll just see how it turns out. So, you take the shoe polish, and what I like to do is get it started. You push down, get a good bit of it there, and then just cover the entire limb like this. Go back, and don't worry too much about how it looks. Okay, once you got it covered on that side, and you're satisfied with it, covering all the different parts of it, I'll start at the end. Do like that, like that. If you lift it as you're pulling away, you can create the appearance of growth rings and nodules. I find the most convincing ones for this are when you push, angle it forward, and then draw it away. That creates a slightly rounded growth ring appearance. If you leave it flat when you lift, it creates something more like a bamboo nodule. So anyway, let me just go ahead and wipe all of that out, and I'll start from the scratch. I also think the effect tends to look better on 3/4 inch just because of the size. This tends to be a little bit large. The applicator is really much smaller than the limb, so it's just not going to look as good as it would if it were a smaller limb where you could cover the entire limb with one go. I try and avoid buildup of these dark deposits around the edges. Just go over them lightly. You're going to do another coat later, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, so now just do the same sort of thing to the side. I try and match up the spots where I created the growth rings. Go to the back and do the same thing there. Get a little flow going, coat the entire limb. Once you have that covered and you're satisfied, there you go. Now you can go and do the same sort of a thing, just applying it. If you like the darker streaks in there, you can leave them, that's fine. It's just about what you prefer. I find some streaks can be pretty nice looking. Too many looks a little bit harsh, but you could probably also use that to imitate certain kinds of wood, zebra wood and so forth. So there we go, that's not half bad. It doesn't look too terrible. You can tell the difference between the areas that have been sanded more heavily, which is over here, and the areas which haven't. Like the side right there. See, I missed that spot. I didn't sand it evenly, so it just looks streaked but shiny. Elsewhere, when this dries, it's going to look really good. The other spot, less so. See, I just went over there and smoothed that out. Looks a little nicer now. You can do that for a little while up until it starts to get too thick. At that point, you're going to want to go and apply a good bit of it all at once, and that'll soften it up, and you can modify it and change it then. So that's it for now. I mean, really, that's the whole process. That's what it looks like. It's not going to look substantially different when it dries. See, there's just a little excess there, so I go in and just touch it up. Eventually, when you touch it up, you're going to start removing it. It's just going to start taking parts of it off. So I like to let it dry fully, and then you can go back and just hit it once quick and gently, not to rub it off. But this will leave you with a fairly nice looking bow, I think. And it'll look fairly convincingly, especially from a distance like wood. This backside looks pretty darn good. And again, 3/4 inch pipe I think is the very best for this, because that's just, the applicator size is just right. If you had a different applicator or a brush you used, that would be perfect. If you found this helpful, I'm glad. Go ahead and subscribe if you liked all this stuff, if you haven't already. And please feel free to join us on the Google Plus community that I created for PVC archery and crafting. It's fun. There's over, right now, 30 of us there, and we're having a good time. People are sharing lots of really cool projects, and I look forward to seeing everybody. Take it easy.